welcome to the second season and another episode of the M.6 Step Forward podcast. Although the world, the life, the economy, the environment change rapidly and moving really fast, the question is, are we ready to move as well? Are we ready to change as fast as everything changes around us? Perhaps also the organization's leadership is also striving to move and to reach the market of what is changing also rapidly, but the people in the organization are also not always ready to change. So these sentences that guides me through life when it's a challenge, also that things have to change in my life, I always say to myself, life is a process and growth is a choice. And but how to accept the process and move from fixed mindset to growth mindset? And for this, I have the honor and pleasure of discussing of these topics with Sotiris Karagiannis, an excellent professional. I have to read this because it's a very rich portfolio. An excellent professional, trainer, a senior coach, a teacher, an MBA educator, business consultant specializing in strategy and leadership. And with more than 35 years of experience working with global companies, Sotiris has delivered powerful programs in leadership, organizational culture, negotiation, and strategic change. Is this all, or there's some more?
Wow, that's really a lot. I wasn't expecting that of myself. I feel very proud now. Thank you for reminding me.
Yes. But this is also more. He is also a trusted trainer for the corporate clients of M.6 Educational Center, bringing international experience to companies across the region. So, as an accredited senior practitioner coach and longtime MBA lecturer, he blends academic excellence with hands-on business insights, helping leaders navigate change with clarity, purpose, and confidence. I think...
Well...
Yes.
I'm speechless.
Yes. Sometimes it's also very interesting when somebody else introduces you, and that feels really good. It's when
Thank you very much. I'm honored. Yeah.
Yes. So welcome, Sotiris, to this
Thank you.
podcast. And now that I read all of these titles, I'm really interested. Who is Sotiris?
Well, in my story as coach, trainer, I started at some point kind of accidentally because I was more in the corporate world, and at some point I started looking at opportunities to share experiences.
Yeah.
And that's the time that I found my true north, if you like. Okay. And I entered education on one hand in academia and at the same time training. But for me, my milestone was my involvement as the director of the franchise of Dale Carnegie training in Greece, where I spent 4 years, and I was initiated to the philosophy behind Dale Carnegie and the famous book, How to Win Friends and Influence People. And that was quite some time ago, but I'm really surprised in a good sense to see that many of the principles that Dale Carnegie wrote back in the 30s still apply, and they bring value in the corporate world.
Yes, and that's why I think that really these things exist for a long time. But that's why I say life is a process, but growth is a choice.
Absolutely.
Not everybody see that as a choice.
Yeah. Same thing applies with leadership. Not everybody is a leader. You have to choose to be a leader.
Yeah. Oh, yes, definitely. And now with all these titles, how can you identify yourself? Are you a coach? Are you a trainer? Are you a business consultant? What is the main that you feel the most?
I think it all encapsulates in one statement, helping people embrace positive change. That's the motto of my company, Change to Be. And I don't see myself as a coach, a trainer, or a consultant, if you like. I see it as a person who gets joy and satisfaction by seeing people changing positively. So for me, the glory and the satisfaction I get, as I said before, is to help people change.
So that is actually a little bit also an answer of my next question. What drives you also to do what you do?
I find myself in when teaching in university or doing training consultancy to be in a state of flow, coming from the theory of Csikszentmihalyi actually. So this is where I get the optimum happiness
Yes.
by combining challenging tasks with skills. And I like, when I say challenging, I like to challenge my trainees, my students by asking higher order questions,
Yeah.
make them think.
So you are coaching yourself as well.
Absolutely, it's a coaching and learning experience, definitely.
Yeah, definitely.
yeah.
Because if you want to become a coach, first you have to be coachable yourself. So that's
Absolutely.
the first step.
Absolutely.
I always said in my students that this program is maybe to become a coach, but you are your first student yourself.
One of the requirements of all the coaching organizations like European Mentoring and Coaching Council, ICF, and all the others is to start with internal awareness. You
Yes.
cannot be able to coach other people unless you know who you are. And I think the same thing applies in leadership. We spend so much time training leaders how to deal with their people and very little time helping them to discover themselves.
Yeah, that's the leader who doesn't lead himself can be a good leader.
I don't think this is ever the case.
Yes, that's not possible,
No,
eh?
no, it's
Because
not.
you also have to know how to lead your own internal processes.
Absolutely.
When you're
Absolutely.
guiding and leading people. And what are the values that have brought you now, after 35 years? Yes, what?
One of the things that I really enjoy and I like in this job is that even though some of the topics are probably the same
Yes.
in training and coaching, but you get the joy of meeting new people and always bring something new. So I am in this kind of process that I don't think I know everything, and every time I know something new.
Yes.
It's an asymptotic, process to mastery, which you never, finish, because there's no such thing as saying, okay, I have done everything. There's not more that I need to know. So what I get, the satisfaction I get is, even though I may be doing the same thing, let's say a leadership topic, there's always new things to learn.
Yeah.
And also I like the fact that this is a two-way process. I learn from the students or the coaches also.
Definitely.
And that's what drives me.
So the highest value for you, it's a growth, it's a development, because everything you do, you say you grow yourself, you
Absolutely.
develop yourself. So that's the highest value for you, that if there is no growth, would you do the same job or not? If there is no growth.
If I find a moment in time that I don't see any further growth, then I have two options: either to see if there is,
Yes.
or if there isn't, then I will probably retire or write a
Yeah.
book or share my experiences or become the mentor of somebody. If I find an end to this, but I don't think there is any such thing as the end of growth.
No, there is not. But some people with fixed mindset, maybe that comes because they want security. Because in this job, when you are towards growth all the time, there's no security, I think.
Well, yes, and
Uncertainty more.
you touch the right term. So if you have a fixed mindset, then you see always change as a threat. You don't want to be resilient. You don't want to be agile, and you always think by going back to historical evidence and data that things went well,
Yeah.
and you don't understand that the future is not so predictable anymore.
No. And now we see in this world, when also we have a lot of information, everything is going so fast. Even if you want to be in a fixed mindset, I think it's not possible anymore.
The evidence from studies of CEOs of Fortune 500 is that on average the time they spend focused on one thing is approximately 4.7 minutes.
Wow.
It used to be 11.
Yes.
Now, this difference of 7 minutes has an impact on their stock price by less to 38%. So the leaders who only spend 4.7 minutes focused on one topic compared to others who spent 11 minutes, okay,
Yeah.
the stock market price is 38% less.
Wow. So everything is moving very fast. And
We know that what we learned today on just one day
yeah,
is equivalent to the information the average human being of the 17th century would have found throughout their lives.
yes.
So if life expectancy back then was about 35 years,
But this is also challenging, to be also aware, what do I need this information? Because there's so many information. How to channel that?
well, this is why AI helps.
Yes.
And contrary to what people say that it will replace our brains and everything, I don't see it like that. I mean,
No.
if I have to process all this information, I would like to have a machine, and it's my responsibility to take this information, decide which is useful and which is not.
Yeah, but we already do that with
Yeah,
our brain.
absolutely.
What is important, maybe I put more attention on that, but for example, there are people that only hear and see the bad news because their mind is processing only the bad news. They are not able to see the other side.
No,
So-
and we condition our brain
Yeah.
to function in this kind of defensive way
Yeah.
by simply focusing on the bad news, and we don't change to a growth mindset where you
Yes.
see even the bad news as an opportunity to learn something.
So that's why I think it's coaching as a tool, as a methodology is very important in the professional life, in the organizations. And what is your experience? Is used a lot, or it's still not incorporated in the organizations?
Well, I think coaching coaching and mentoring are
Yeah.
becoming very popular. However, we have to be sure what we mean by coaching, because it has become something like a cure-all. We think that everybody is coachable, which is not the case. If you have someone who is, if I can use the academic term, unconsciously incompetent, in other words, they don't know what they don't know,
Yeah.
you cannot do coaching. Coaching is not to tell people what they should do. Coaching is to help them find solutions themselves. And that's why it's transformational.
Yes.
So, yes, it is important for those people in the workplace who already know what they know and know what they don't know, so they can help by their coaches
Yes.
to find solutions to improve their performance, their well-being, and whatever else is needed. So, yes, in that sense, coaching is important, okay? Just like mentoring, despite the difference between the two.
But what to do with those people who are not aware that they have to change, that they have to do, that they need a new skills? How to move them from the fixed mindset to the growth mindset?
I think one of the issues that sometimes we overlook when it comes to change overall is that we tell people only what they should change, but we never focus on what they should not, because it's good practice.
Yeah.
So, resistance comes from not knowing why you're changing. You don't feel you're part of the change. But if I were to help a team change, and I would go and say, this is what needs to be changed. However, some of the things you don't change because it's great practice and you should continue doing that, then the resistance is reduced. They feel more psychologically safe of what is coming. In organizations, because we need to produce results quickly, because sometimes we have to change yesterday, as it says, we don't pay attention to this fact that has a serious impact on the psychological readiness of people to change. Yeah. So I don't think it's that people don't want to change. It's just how we deal with change ourselves.
Yes.
And not so much the resistance.
Yes. Definitely. And what is then the difference between the coach and the trainer? That's also interesting, because sometimes people mix that. Mm-hmm. Because if you do a team coaching, it's something different than if you do a team training.
Yeah. Well, training is to help people develop skills.
Yeah, to train them.
Yeah, train them and show them ways. Coaching is all about helping them find answers themselves. If sometimes when I do coaching, I have somebody that says, "Well, what would you do if you were in my place?" I say, "I'm sorry, I'm not in your place. I'm not here to tell you what to do. I'm here to help you."
Yes.
Now, if I do training, let's say sales training, then obviously it's a little bit different. You guide people, you share your knowledge. Again, you may incorporate some coaching practices,
Yeah.
but coaching is about transformation, and transformation cannot happen with a magic stick.
It's a process.
It's a process that your coachee is engaged to follow with your guidance and your help.
And also mentoring and coaching, it's also different. Or it's a...
Mentoring is longer.
Aha.
In coaching, you expect to bring results in up to, let's say, 10 sessions. When you do corporate coaching and you want to help some people improve their performance, well, your client who pays you will not say, okay, let's wait for 1 year until we see progress. So you have to bring results quickly.
Yeah.
Mentoring is long-term. You associate with a mentor and you learn from that person. You're being inspired by this person's experience, and that has a long-lasting process. The basic difference, though, is that a coach recruits. The mentor is recruited.
Oh,
The mentor doesn't choose his or her mentees. The mentor is chosen by a mentee because the mentee wants to learn and is inspired by the mentor. The coach selects
yes.
who to coach.
That's and also mentoring, people make also a little bit mix those, because mentor cannot be everyone. I think can be, yes, but you have to have experience about the topic that you are asked for. You cannot just mentor someone if you don't have experiences that, because many times people, they mentor someone, they say they give them advice.
Mm-hmm.
But they don't have that experience.
No.
So
the skills that both coaches and mentors use in communicating and interacting are not very different. It's just the nature of the relationship.
yes,
However, in our times now, we see reverse mentoring, which means younger people mentoring older people in new technologies. And that's a new trend.
that's also because
Yeah.
it's a different perception
Exactly.
of maybe. Yeah,
Exactly.
because a coach, you don't have, if you are coaching someone, you don't have to know, let's say, if somebody is a leader, and let's say I'm a coach and I'm coaching the leader. I don't have to be a leader to have a leadership role to coach the leader. But if I'm mentoring a leader, then I also have to be a leader to have experiences.
Yes.
That's really the difference.
Exactly. And in coaching now, one of the new, let's say, things or expectations from industries is that you should be familiar with the industry of your coachee. So although you don't have to be an expert, but familiarity with the industry is now highly demanded by companies when they select a coach.
Yes.
That was not the case like 10 or 20 years ago.
Yeah.
But of course, coaching is a process that improves all the time.
Also, let's say if you're a sport coach and learn someone to gain a skill in the sport, you have to know the sport that you're teaching.
Well, in sports coaching, definitely.
But for the rest, it's good to have the knowledge, but you don't have to be an expert in that.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Yeah.
And how is it you're living in Prague for how many years?
Well, now it's my 8th year.
8th year, yes.
So I'm permanently living in Prague. I'm running the master's programs of the University of New York in Prague in business.
Yeah.
Teaching and also doing training and consultancy for my company, which is registered and based in London, moving around.
Yeah. And how is the coaching culture there in the organization? Are they using it as a tool?
I say it's also an ongoing process, so it's developing. Again, people, some of them confuse coaching with training or direction. But many big companies, multinationals that have their branches, and they already bring the culture from other countries, they start investing a lot in coaching because they see the value of helping their people not only develop skills but also retain the skills.
Yes.
And also keeping the talent, which is one of the main issues and challenges in our times, with them instead of losing them.
Yeah, and also I know in Holland, where I used to live, they have in organization, they have their coach. somebody who's working in HR and it's educated as a coach,
Mm-hmm.
and it's also working for some issues with the
You mean internal coaches?
internal coach.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
it's also a good practice,
Mhm.
but not always.
No, because the internal coach sometimes there's some an issue of fear of bias, and some people would prefer an external who doesn't know them so well,
Yes.
so they stay detached. They don't go in more, let's say, private or personal things.
Yeah.
So,
That's also interesting because some people here in Macedonia say, I don't need a coach. I have my friends. Your friend
well, it's
cannot.
good. It's good to have friends, but you also need a coach.
Yes, because it's a coach. It sees from the other perspective, other perception. So
I
it's
think
not
this is
involved emotionally.
I think this is an issue. I would say in the Balkans in general, because I see the same thing in other countries.
Yeah.
In the Balkans, this kind. It's like in therapy, in psychology, in counseling.
Yeah.
You don't want to accept that you need help, because it's still in some cultures it's a stigma. Although of course it's
Yes.
not like it was 20 years ago.
Yeah.
But as you say, in some cases people say, I don't need coaching. I'm really good in what I'm doing.
Yes, it's also working. But you have in your coaching program that you are delivering also in Prague, you also do this
Yes,
for
yeah.
internationally also.
And in other countries as well.
Yes, in other countries. I see a very interesting figures here about coaching because still people are thinking, okay, why do I need coaching? What can help me? But there are interesting figures here. 80% of people who receive coaching say their self-confidence increased. And I can also agree with this because I'm also like 20 years I'm doing coaching and there's a huge shift in people. Also, 70% of those who are coached improve their work, performance, relationship, and communication. So that's a lot. 86% of companies report recouping their investment in coaching and more. 99% of those who hire a coach are satisfied or very satisfied. So this is really amazing. 73% of coaching clients report that coaching helps them improve their work performance, communication skill, interpersonal skills, relationship, work-life balance, and wellness. So this is
And we have measured that also in the university in Prague, because part of the MBA program we offer sessions that we call Grow to Flow, and students do coaching with us outside the classroom. So they bring issues from work, and we do coaching with them, and then we measure whether the coaching that they received has helped them keep the skills and improve them. So we go back to them after 7 months
yes.
and they say, okay, what's happening? How has this program helped you? And I would say without any reservation that more than 95% of them say the skills helped me and they have remained as part of the way I'm doing my work now, so they feel really grateful of the coaching experience.
And why then some companies are still skeptical about it? That's also very interesting.
I think it goes back to this old saying, if it ain't broke, don't fix it.
Okay.
It's like it's like in with toxic or abrasive leaders sometimes. So you have a leader in sales, let's say, and the results are good. So the company is happy with the sales figures that are coming. But this person is abrasive, is toxic. So he makes or she makes the people feel bad about it. And then the company doesn't do much because they say, as long as the numbers are there, why should I touch this person? Which is one of the issues with why many people in the workplace behave in a toxic way. And nobody does anything because everybody's happy with the performance. They're high performance, by the way, but they have no clue how to deal with the human factor.
That's have to do also because maybe they are very good in managing processes, but not managing people. And for managing people, they need another skills. So that's why I think now coaching is becoming more popular because, let's say, also the younger generation, they don't accept so much toxic leaders like the other generations previous before. They are more, how to say, they're more towards themselves. So if they don't like the environment, they're leaving.
And we know that Generation Z, for example, they stay on average 2 or 3 years with the company, and then they go to another one, or they're looking for to do their own jobs, start early. Even in MBA programs now, we see younger students wanting to do the MBA almost right after they finish their bachelor studies, because they have this dream of starting something on their own fairly. That's okay. I mean, that's not necessarily an issue.
It's more entrepreneurial mindset. What is also growing now more. The younger people, they don't want to be, they want to be independent more. And I also want to know what you think about that. Who needs actually coaching skills?
You mean to be able to coach others or to be coached?
In the company, let's say.
I would say, for one thing, I would start with the middle management, because they are kind of the backbone of the organization. So I think middle managers need to be helped to develop coaching skills to help their teams. And then, of course, it goes up to the higher ranks of the organization. But if I were to develop a coaching culture in an organization and say who to approach first, I would start with the middle managers.
That's interesting. I never see that like that. Why? Can you explain a specific? Why the middle management first?
Well, let's take, for example, a pharmaceutical company that has medical representatives.
Yes.
So the medical representatives go out to talk to prescribers, to doctors, and convince them to prescribe the company's drugs. Now, these people have their own district managers who are middle management level.
Yes.
Now, these district managers go often with their people in double visits. Mm-hmm. After that, they're supposed to help their people to understand what went well, what could have gone better. So this requires from their side to have developed coaching skills to show empathy, active listening, to help their people with the right questions to find solutions themselves for their performance, and also even change of behavior.
Yes.
So that's why I think that the middle management, especially the ones who are out in the field, for me, that they would be the priority.
Yes, the priority. And then you go one scale up with the
leadership. For the upper managers, for the upper leaders, the coaching is a little bit different. For the middle management, it's more like how they help their teams.
Yes.
For the other ones, I would start, as you said before, by helping them coach themselves first.
Yes, because the coaching actually, what I see, it's a relational activity. Yes. Also with yourself and the coach, but also later yourself and the team. It's all about relations.
Yes. And you have to be authentic.
Yes.
You have to, as we were saying, you have to accept that you are vulnerable. You're not perfect.
Yes.
And even be prepared to, admit that you're vulnerable in front of your people, in the open.
But how, many times leaders ask, but how can I show my vulnerability? If the people see me that I'm weak, if I say, and that's why they keep themselves so strong and hard, but somehow they will explode in another context,
I think it's a defense mechanism.
Definitely.
We know from psychology that many of these leaders who are kind of defensive, and sometimes they're abrasive or toxic, by even demonstrating a lot of micromanagement which is a toxic behavior. They have this threat, anxiety, defense issues. So threat, if things don't go the way I think they should go, my reputation is at stake, my job is at stake, I'm not going to get the results I'm expected to bring. That creates stress.
Yes.
And the way they react is by being defensive, which turns into a kind of bullying or harassing attitude in the workplace.
Criticizing
everybody.
Controlling everybody.
I once started with a lady in marketing in a very big multinational company. So on the first day, then we started talking, putting the scenario of how we would work together. I asked her, how are you doing with your team? It's a marketing team. And she said, the moment I met with my team for the first time, I told them failure is not an option. I said, really? Am I wrong to assume that marketing is expected to fail? Otherwise, you cannot be creative.
Yeah.
And I couldn't do much with her. I mean, maybe now that happened quite a lot of time, but probably now I would see it more as a challenge. Yeah. But in that time, I just said, okay, sorry, we have an ideological difference here. I don't know how I can help.
So actually, a coach needs to have a psychological little background or knowledge about human behavior. Is that?
Well, in coaching programs, we may go through some basic psychological theories, like if you do cognitive behavioral coaching, for example, but we don't expect coaches to be psychologists. So knowing a little bit of issues about behavior and what drives people, even now neuroscience is coming in coaching, understanding how the brain functions, that's enough to know. Unless you're a psychologist and you also want to combine it with coaching skills, which is a little bit different, provided you know the difference between doing therapy or counseling and coaching. Yeah.
Because all this, what we are talking about, the behavior that a leadership or someone is showing, they are most of the time a coping mechanisms.
Yes.
Somehow,
Yes.
The people that they learned maybe in order to survive, let's say, or how to deal with challenges, usually they activate some coping mechanism and they think, if I don't control this, I don't know what will happen. So that is a little bit, of course, that's his psychology behind, but that's why I'm thinking if the coach needs to know about things. That's why I think also it's very important that coach cannot be everyone. You also have to work on yourself. It's also personal development. Because if I don't know my coping mechanism, and let's say somebody comes to me, a client, and talk about something, some topic that I not agree with that, maybe I will get in a conversation and not stay dissociate. So maybe for a coach, I don't know if you think, I'm sure that you think also the same, that you also have to do a personal work.
Absolutely. And one of the things that we see when we train people to become coaches is when in their first contacts with their coaches, they kind of direct the discussion to what they think is the solution.
Yeah.
So they show this kind of bias, and inside them, you can see it in their body language. You can see that, okay, they wait for the coachee to spit it out, and it's just what they have in mind, so they direct the discussion. And we help them understand that this is not coaching. So it starts also with them being prepared to keep the right distance and see the issues by asking the right questions from the side of the coachee, not what they think the solution should be.
Yes. And also awareness of the coach himself. Maybe the coach have experience with some manager in a previous job that was toxic or something, and then comes a client and talks about that, he will say, oh, I know. I also did it like this and like that.
Yeah. You go with cognitive biases.
Yes.
Like, I know you remind me of somebody from the past. Yeah. Well,
that's why when we talk about coaching, it's also very important for the coach to maybe know also a little bit of somatic approach, a little bit more that non-verbal communication.
I think that's really useful. It's useful
not to interpret it, but to recognize.
Yes, recognize, understand from the body language of your coachee where they are, how stressed they probably are, because sometimes they don't express it in the open. So from looking at reading the body language, showing the right empathy and the emotional intelligence, it does help to be in a situation where the coachee is prepared to show vulnerability themselves as well and accept that they have issues they want the help of the coach to resolve.
So now that we are talking, maybe the audience will think, oh my God, coaching is not just asking smart questions.
I think that coaching is almost 50, if more than 50%, asking the right questions.
Yeah, and the rest?
The rest is how you apply models and techniques to help
Yes.
the coachee from the answers they give to the good questions, work out solutions themselves and commit
That's
to these solutions that they have been agreed during the coaching sessions.
So everybody can become a coach?
I believe that if they really want and if they find it as a transformational opportunity in the real good sense of the word, both for them and for the others, and they want to serve a high purpose,
Yeah.
then with the proper training, yes,
Yes.
why not?
But if everybody coachable, that's just a question. But everybody can become a coach if they have the...
Well, not everybody, but definitely you don't have to be born a coach.
No.
It's like you're not born a leader, you develop
Yes.
to become a leader. So yes, as long as you like doing this, and as I said, you find it compelling, you believe you serve a purpose
Yeah.
of transformation, then with the proper training and experience, yes, why not?
Usually they say everyone who is a psychologist or a coach, they start because they wanted to help themselves.
Which is true.
Yeah.
And in the psychology programs we run in the university in Prague, many of the students who come to study, when I'm doing interviews for them, they say that one of the reasons is because I want to study in order to discover also about things about myself, which I find a genuine motive, to be honest.
Yeah, because then you also understand yourself maybe more,
exactly.
and maybe you are
Exactly.
open more
Exactly.
for your clients.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And what is the program that you are running, the coaching program? It's of course the people learn, the attendees of the programs, they learn skills, they have techniques and everything. But what is also special also about the program?
This program, first of all, is accredited by the European Mentoring and Coaching Council, which is one of the biggest global
Yeah.
organizations. So people know that when they finish it, they get the accreditation as coaches, which matters a lot. But I think what is more important is the content. So we cover a number of different approaches that people can apply, and there's a lot of practical application during the course. So we don't put people in front of a screen and bombard them with hundreds of thousands of PowerPoint slides, but we try to help them through mock coaching role plays, and after we go through the basic models and theories to develop coaching skills. But this is not, it's an ongoing process. It doesn't finish with the hours of the lectures, let's say. Then you have to spend time with yourself and develop more coaching. You coach some people, you get feedback from them until eventually you move from one level to the next.
Of course, it's a practical. It's not just learning theory.
No.
You have to practice. And what about, are you also for online programs, or you think coaching should be done live?
I would prefer face-to-face. I would prefer
Me
offline.
too.
Because when you have, the role plays and you want to give feedback, you're supervising people, it's better because you read the body language. Sometimes, in online, people don't have their cameras
Yeah.
off, so you don't see anybody. But even when you see from a camera, you see the face, but you don't see everything that helps a coach understand. You talked before about somatic.
Yes.
So you cannot do that in online.
Yes, I'm also agree with that. Also this conversation, we could do it on Zoom, but I think I'm more in person. That's more easy for me to communicate with someone because you have everything you see, also you feel, there's also exchange. I know there are a lot of programs online, but I'm still missing something that is the personal.
An alternative would be a hybrid session,
that's-
for example, or coaching program. But you definitely need to have this kind of face-to-face interaction.
Yes. And what is for you the future of coaching? Because now the artificial intelligence, I see many young people, they are using ChatGPT or some programs to ask themselves, oh, I have a very high heart rate. My colleague said to me this and this, what can I do? So,
Artificial intelligence, if the algorithm can come back with hundreds of very useful coaching questions.
yes.
But we know very well that the point is that this empathy and the human touch cannot be emulated by
No.
even the most advanced AI machine. So if I were to have issues and I wanted help, and I would not trust the AI, not because they would not probably give me good questions or answers, but because it's not only that. It's you want to feel this human touch that at least for now,
Yes.
AI cannot replace.
No, I also don't think so. Especially the coaching, I think will be maybe late, maybe in 10 years, I don't know, but still the human touch is very important for this.
I see it as complementary and helpful. I'm not against AI
Yes.
at all.
Yeah.
As long
It's a
as
tool.
as long as a tool, it can help us save time from many activities that are probably routine,
Yeah.
and then we can find more time to be more creative. So there's nothing wrong about that.
Yes. And now, like the ending of this nice conversation, what would you like to? What are you doing? Let's say, what do you like to do most? Is the coaching one-on-one, or it's a team coaching? What do you enjoy the most? Or there's no that kind of.
I find team coaching maybe more interesting because people get together and they share ideas, provided you make them feel psychologically safe to share things.
Yes.
So for me, team coaching, but not a very big team, okay?
Yes.
Manageable number is probably more challenging, if you like.
Mm-hmm.
So if I were to choose between the two, I would probably go for team from group coaching,
Yeah.
but that doesn't mean that you don't get a lot of satisfaction and challenges with one-on-one.
Yes. And what we can say for the end, for let's say for the organizations, for the leaders, how they can use the coaching tools, what is the benefit for them to start to get some training about coaching. It's not only by going for a coaching or invite coach, but for themselves to learn the coaching skills.
As we said before, it's a transformational process. So you start by first understanding who you are,
Yes.
and then how you can coach others. So coaching is an opportunity not just to transform others, but also transform yourselves. And we know that in this kind of VUCA world that we live, nothing is static, nothing is predictable. So coaching helps people gain this kind of resilience and flexibility to see things from very, very different perspectives. If I can close that, we have two choices. One is to follow Maslow, who used to say that if your only tool is a hammer, then everything looks like a nail. And on the other hand, Bernard Shaw used to say, you see things and ask why. I dream of things as they've never been, and I ask why not. Coaching is the second.
Yes.
With all the respect for Maslow.
Yes, oh, great ending. And I think it's the most important thing for the leaders, what I experience with, that they say, oh, I don't have time for doing coaching with my teams, because they see that they have to do like a 1 hour session or something, but it's only the skills to have a different perception. You don't have to do 1 hour session with your team members, but you can use the coaching skills for us.
Nobody's preventing you to show empathy, to be an active listener, and increase your emotional intelligence. It doesn't only happen in coaching.
Yes.
That should be the skills that people need anyway.
Yeah. So for this, maybe do you have a last sentence for our audience that are listening?
I believe people should grab the opportunities that are being offered now through coaching practice.
Yeah.
If they want to develop both personally and to develop their people, and make a real difference in what you're doing.
Yes. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. It was
And
my pleasure.
yes, hope to see you again, of course, in M6.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Ова беше епизодата со Sotiris и како еден од обучувачите на М6 едукативниот центар и верувам дека ви се допадна и ќе продолжите да не следите како подкаст и секако сите тренинзи и обуки кои што се држат во М6 едукативниот центар.